Okay, let's start. So first of all, I want to thank all of you that joined us today. I know that for many of you it's already almost peak season, so I know you're already running everywhere between check-ins, check-outs, pulling everything together for your guests. So I wanted to thank you for making the time to join us online today. So today's academy is about invoicing. As many of you know, you can manage invoicing through Booking Manager, no matter where your company is based. We try to always be adjusted to your local legislation, as we do for crew lists, for example. So for invoicing, we support most of our clients. I will make just one short info for the Italian clients that are tuned in today. You can use Booking Manager to make your invoicing, and then you can transfer the invoices through to a software that can fiscalize them with Agenzia delle Entrate. So everything you will see today applies. You just need to have a connection to a software that can fiscalize invoices in Italy. For our Croatian attendees, you know very well that we are already connected with Croatian fiscal systems. So all the invoices that I will show you today how to do can be directly fiscalized from Booking Manager program. Okay, so let's start. You're very lucky today. I'm not gonna bore anybody with statistics, so we'll skip the statistic directly. We thought that invoicing was enough for today, not to give you extra numbers. So I might be a bit fast for the topic. So at any times you have questions, just pop them, in the chat. I will try to catch as many as I can. If you need me to repeat something or to stop at any time, just put it there, and I will do my best. In any case, this video is available for rewatch, and all the questions are available also, for reading afterwards. So if you missed something, don't worry, you have a. And of course, if there is anything that you want to dig a bit deeper, you can come back to us or to my colleagues from the technical support. We have a few of my colleagues that are invoicing specialists in the company. Okay, let's give it a go. So we will go through three main points today: the basics of invoicing, the custom invoicing, and how to check the revenue and make sure that there's nothing that is missing. So those are the three main categories we will go through today. First, on the invoicing, the general invoicing, we will go through the advance invoices, how to make invoices for online payments, the payment analyzer, so to make sure that you don't have any outstanding payment, final invoices, the barcode scanner, and the invoices at the base. So those are the first invoices we will go through. Those are the most general cases. So advance invoices. For when I say advance invoices, I mean invoices for advance payments. So the first and second or third down payment, depending what's your payment schedule, can be invoiced through Booking Manager. If by the legislation of your country, you're not obliged to issue an invoice for every payment you receive, but only the final invoice, you can do exactly the same without putting the invoice number, and this tool will help you track the payments. As you see from the screen on the left side here, you have these events. So if you track your payments through Booking Manager, even if you don't issue the invoices, you can actually see if there's any balance that is due, any payment that is late. So you have an overall view of your financial status of each reservation. So I will start with the advance invoices. For those of you that need to have an invoice, like is the case in Italy, when you receive a payment, you need to actually issue an invoice within 48 hours, if I'm not mistaken, similar to Croatia. You do the invoice with the number. If you just want to do the payment, it's the same procedure. You just don't do the part where I put the invoice number. Okay, let's go. So to go to the invoices, obviously we go to the reservation for which we want to issue the invoice. So we select the one we need. We need to have either an agency or a guest on board. If you select the invoice guest, we will actually make the invoice in the name of the guest. And in payments, we can click new. Here, if I want to do the invoice, I put the number, otherwise I put 0. And here I put the amount I received. If it's the agency who sent me the money, I will receive less than what the client paid. The amount between brackets is the amount that the agency received. So it's what I received plus the agency commission. As you can see, I can issue the invoice in any currency and in any of the languages supported by Booking Manager. This is just my short selection. This is how it looks like. So I have the boat, the dates, the name of the guest, the amount, the VAT rate, and here I have the terms of payment. So this is the total. This is what's left to be paid, on which date. And if I want, maybe I'm sending this to the agent, I can have the breakdown of how much the agent paid and what's their part. This part can be hidden. Of course, I can save this document, I can print it, or I can send it through Booking Manager directly. For those of you who need to export it, this can be exported also in Excel, or we will see afterward how to do the export for the accounting softwares. Everything clear so far? It's very easy, it's literally one click. I will move to the next one, which is the online payment. So if you have a website that is built by us, by Booking Manager, we can connect the payment with your Booking Manager account. Basically, what happens is this is our dear partner, NCP, a Croatian company, that has a website that is built by us. So they have the possibility for their guests to search the boats online and to book them directly real time. So this is my colleague, Maya, who is going on holiday and has here made her selection of both, how many people, the extras she wants, and she can click here, direct booking. When I click on direct booking, I get transferred to a payment solution of my choice. And here, if the website is built by Booking Manager, after I do the payment, this is not her real credit card number, so don't try to go to Louis Vuitton and do shopping with the credit card. It won't work, unfortunately. When she clicks pay, you will see that automatically this information is transferred into the Booking Manager. So you see she is the main charter. I have the value. So I just need to click create invoice and automatically I will have my invoice for the payment generated. As we said, if you only want to use it to track payments, you don't need to even click on create the invoice, but it will automatically track the payment. If you have any of our search engine widgets, it can be connected with any payment solution. We already support more than 10, I think, like Revolut, PayPal, Stripe, etc. But the information will be transferred only on the website created by us. But in any case, you can have the payment online solution with your widget. You just will have to do the manual procedure that we saw in the previous slide. Okay, no questions. I'm moving on the next slide. So we have tracked, we have put in our payments. So I know for each reservation, how much I received in my bank account. What I can do is see the status in one view. So I go on work, and then I go on payment analyzer. And here I have I can show all the reservation that have an open balance, so that are in debt here. And I can check by period. So I can select, for example, for this month, the month of June, what I have. Here, for example, we do for the month of July. We're a bit in advance, so we're checking for next month. And here I see that I have this booking, the one we did in the first slide. I received 2,500, but that's not the full amount I should have received. We're still missing 277 euros from what I was expecting on the first payment. This payment is late 3 days, and I already sent one reminder. So this is very convenient if there's several of you in the company that manage the accounting and the invoicing part, not to overlap and not to send reminders to the same client or to the same agent more than once. As you can see here, it comes with a predefined text that you can create, and it comes with an attachment with the information. If maybe you're sending an agency payment reminder and they maybe have several open invoices, you can select multiple invoices and send one reminder with the reservation list that you see now with all the reservation one by one. So each reservation will be one line and they will have the total value here. Okay, all clear so far? I don't see questions. So either you're in shock by invoicing already at the third slide, or I'm doing it slowly enough for you to catch everything. Okay, next. So the process can be the following. Either you do 2 invoices or 3 invoices, depending on the down payments you receive, and then you do a final invoice for the total amount of the charter. It can be that you only do the final invoice for the total amount of the charter, or it can be that you do only the 2 or 3 advance payment invoices. This depends on the regulation of your country. So Croatia, for example, will do 3 invoices, so 2 advance payment invoices and 1 final invoice. So now what we're going to see is how you do the final invoice, which is the invoice for the total amount of the charter plus any extra that is not paid in base. So if you have any extra that needs to be paid in advance, then you invoice it in advance. It will be in these invoices. Okay, so let's see. Again, I go in my reservation. And I have my payments that we have entered. So my balance is 0, I received the total. You see in the euro sign in this screen, which means that I have the whole amount I need. I go in the invoice detail. It automatically, the system takes the date and the next available number for invoicing. So it goes on a progressive. I choose the language. And here I have my invoice. So it's in the name of the client, as we said before. There's the agency if there's one. There is the tax breakdown if you have different VAT amounts, because maybe your extra services and your charter have different VAT amount, for example, is the case in Croatia. And you see, I have here paid with advance payment. As I mentioned before, you can print the PDF, you can email it, you can export it. And here you see you have paid with advance payments. What does the system automatically is that since we have issued 2 advance payment invoices, and now I'm invoicing the third, I'm issuing a third invoice for the same reservation, I don't want to double invoice, right? So I don't want to invoice for 13,000 euros when it is a 6,750 euros reservation. So what the program automatically does, when you do the final invoice, it checks if there's any advance payment invoice, so with an invoice number, and it automatically does the storno of the 2 previous advance payment. So you have the 2 advance payment, 2 storno of the advance payment, and you have the final invoice. Okay. Okay, no question. I'm a bit surprised there is no question. Okay, let's move to the next one then. Okay, so we saw so far what is related to the charter amount. Now we will see what can be invoiced at the base. Generally, the most 2 frequent invoices you issue at the base are for tourist tax for the countries or cities that have a tourist tax, and extras at the base. So we will see first the invoices for tourist tax. So in this case, my application is set up as a Croatian company. In Croatia, we have different tourist tax amount depending on the category. So children, adults, and other categories have different amount. Since I used the crew list from Booking Manager, I already know in advance which are the categories, and automatically the program does the calculation. So when I select invoice for the tourist tax, it automatically pre-filled for me all the amount, and I go in invoice detail, and I can easily add any note that I'm legally required to add to the invoice. And in one click, it takes the next available number, today's date, and issues the invoice for the tourist amount. So you see I have full tourist tax for 5 people, and then I add the sum at 0. So automatically it does the calculation for me because the crew list is connected to the invoicing of the tourist tax, and automatically the computer does the math for me, which I think Saturday at the base is not a bad thing to have. Okay, now, few years ago, we introduced the barcode scanner. If you go in your extras, you see that you have this possibility to have a code. You can put the code, select your extras, and print a barcode sheet that looks exactly like the one you have at the supermarket. So I can have a barcode, like a cashier in the supermarket, and when the guest comes and says, oh, I forgot, do you have any stand-up paddle available? You can just click it, scan the barcode, and in automatic, it's added to the calculation of your reservation. Okay, so you don't have to go add an extra to the reservation, change the quantity, save, etc. It automatically, you can scan it with the barcode and it saves you a few steps. And what I can do is, now that I have added it to my calculation, when I go in the reservation, here I have them in the calculation. So I have my extras that I need to invoice, and I go in invoices, new, and this time I select standard invoice, and in automatic, I will have the extras that I have in the reservation. Let's say I don't want to invoice the one of it, so I can delete it, or maybe the client told me he wants to add the generator, which I didn't have in my barcode sheet, so I can add it manually. I can select the payment method, so if it's card, if it's cash, if it's on the bank account, depends how the client paid, and I can create the invoice. It will take automatically today's date and the next sequential number available, and I have an invoice ready to print for the guest directly at the check-in. Okay. Any question? No question. Okay. So now we have covered all the steps until the check-in. So we have covered the advance payment, we have covered the final invoices, we have covered invoicing at the base, tourist tax, any extras that the client requests to you at the check-in. But there is special cases, so custom invoicing. It can be that there is a damage, unfortunately. It can be that the client canceled the reservation and you're withholding a part of the payment. You might offer other services that are not linked to the charter, might be, other services. And of course, you can manage and track maintenance through Booking Manager, so you can also invoice maintenance. Can I start with this section, or you have any questions? We're going very fast, 20 minutes, and we're already on the last stretch, second, let's say, 2 out of 3 steps. Okay, let's move. Invoice for damages. So I'm Italian, and I know that we have an awful reputation as Italian of clogging toilets. All the Greek charter companies I ever spoke with have this problem. No matter how many signs they put, not to put toilet paper in the toilet, us Italian have a reputation of clogging toilets. So this is one of the most common damages you have. What you can do, and what we recommend, is that you can put those most frequent damages as extra. So those extras can be hidden, so they're visible for you internally, but of course they're not visible to the agent or the funnel client that might be booking through your website. But it's very convenient for you if you're doing the invoices, or even if you're just tracking that damages through the application, because then in one click you have it in the dropdown and you can add it. You can even do the barcode scanner that we saw before. So it's very convenient to preset it, and this you set it up same as you set up the extras. Or you can have one general damage extra with a random amount, because all the fields in the invoice can be edited manually, so you can always add more or less detail case by case. So let's say I have my beloved Italians on board and they managed to clock 2 out of 2 toilets in the boat. So what do? I charge them part of the deposit, of course, but I have to give them an invoice technically. So I go in invoices, I create a new standard invoice. I remove everything that I don't need from my invoicing. So I will just select and delete what I don't need. I can either double click and rename the transit log to something else, or in this case, for example, I have damage on boat as a line, and I can put the amount I want to charge, and I will go in invoice detail. You see, I have, in this case, in Croatia, for this kind of work, we do not charge VAT. So I will change the VAT amount. And here I go click create invoice. And in one click, literally, I have the invoice to give to my client for the amount I'm holding from the security deposit. And here I have the payment method, which is card. You have seen in several of the invoices that there is a QR code. In case you have questions about that, that's a requirement for our Croatian customers. The law requires them to have this QR code in the invoices, because it's for tracking for the fiscal authorities to track the invoices. That's why you see a QR code in all the invoices I've shown you today. So the next scenario is that the client does a cancellation, but is within the terms. In my terms and condition, I have the right of holding partial or total deposit. If I'm holding a partial deposit, I will have, and I issued an advance payment, I will do the storing of the advance payment and reissue a new invoice with the amount I'm holding. So let's see how to do it. Again, we're in the reservation. I have the payment. You see I've tracked 690 euros payment. I will select the payment and do the storing of the invoice. So I'm canceling the invoice that I made. So you see it's in negative. Okay. And now I go again in my invoices. I create new standard invoice. And again, you can have either a field where you just type it, or you can have already prepared line item, invoice for cancellation of the boat, and I can put the amount I'm holding from the down payment. It can be a partial, it can be total. In this case, I'm holding the total amount. But for the Croatian law, if I'm canceling, if the client canceled and I'm holding part of the deposit or the full deposit, I have the right to not charge VAT. So in this case, I have to do a new invoices because I have a different VAT rate. So I can create the invoice. And as you can see, you have a note section. So if you're legally required to put any specific mention, not only for the cancellation, but for example, in Italy, if you have a specific status, which is travel agent, you can charge a different VAT percentage than a charter. So in this case, they have to put a specific mention, saying in Croatia for the cancellation. And as you can see here, there's the note section that is visible in the invoices. Okay, still no question. So I will move on to the next. Many of you offer other services that are not strictly the charter or the extras. So for example, I know that some of you are dive instructors, some of you have snorkeling excursions, some of you have bike and sail, wine and sail. So there's a bunch of other services that you provide that are not directly linked to a specific boat, but are an extra service you charge to the client. You can track those in Booking Manager. You can actually issue those invoices in Booking Manager. So here I have a random boat that I use as a dummy boat for my diving services. So it's not a boat that I have in charter, it's just a placeholder for my diving services. So I select this boat, I put a reservation, and I can issue it in the name of the guest or in the name of the agency that did the booking for the client. So in this case, I'm adding the guest, which is again my colleague Maya, who is going sailing, and she's a very VIP client. And here, what is important is that I select free entry reservation. This means that in the invoice I'm gonna issue in a second, there will be no date and name of the boat because this reservation is not attached to a booking. So here I have my open water diving. In the calculation, as you see, maybe I can change the quantity to say it's 2 people doing the diving, and here I can do my invoice. So I put the date of the service, and I can issue the invoice, okay? As you can see, you have the payment breakdown. but you can also modify that directly in the reservation if you maybe received everything up front. So here is my my invoice. Okay. You're very quiet, guys, today. What's going on? I'm not used to have such a quiet audience. Can you hear me? Oh, Martina, thank goodness you're here. Hi. In case the agent are using the invoicing for their commission, will they have the option to change the details that they're issuing in the invoice? For example, in Greece cannot be issued in our company's detail, but in the ownership detail. If issuing a commission invoice is not an option, please ignore this question. So the agents can issue invoices on their side from the portal. This is for you as charter operators, but actually, you give me a great opportunity to mention something. Thank you, Martina. You're always on point with your questions. I'm so grateful that I have you in our academies, because you give me the chance to mention that actually you can make the program can be set up to issue the invoice in the name of the owner, because this is very important for our Greek partners. So you can issue the invoice in your company name, like in this case, or I can issue each invoice depending on the boat. I can assign an owner with his company details, the NEPA details for my Greek clients, and we can issue the invoice in the name of the owner that is assigned to the boat. So thank you, Martina, for asking this question. It completely makes sense. And in that case, the invoice will be issued in the name of the owner, not in the name of the charter provider. Okay. I feel better now that I have a question. I feel like, okay, you're with me today. That's fantastic. Okay. And I mentioned before that you can track maintenance through Booking Manager. This can be a regular maintenance, winter maintenance, any extra maintenance that you happen to do on the boat. I will not go into the maintenance section today because it's not the topic, but stay tuned. This is coming in the Academy schedule. So I want just quickly to show you that you can also do the invoices for the maintenance, even if I'm not going to details how to use the maintenance section. So this is the maintenance section, which is available to all our advanced users. So here I set up a very basic maintenance. So I'm just doing checking the engine and changing the oil. Here I can have a predefined amount of working hours per task. So the system automatically calculates how much work I have and what's my pro rata per hour. And when I set the task to be completed, I can click invoice, and I can have a detailed invoice of all the works I've done. You can choose for every task, if this is at the charge of the owner, it's regular part of the regular invoice amount. And here you can see, same as we did for all the previous, I click create invoice, takes today's date, the following invoice number, and you see I have the detail of the invoice. So I have how much, it's the engine, how much is the liter of oil, etc. So I have the detail I have the breakdown of what I'm invoicing to the client. Or also, if you have boats in maintenance that are not in your charter fleet, you can also use this tool for that. Okay. Now we are on the last bit of today academy, which is how to check our revenue. Okay. So we did the invoicing. To recap once more, we did the invoices for advance payment. We did the final invoice for the total amount of the charter. We did invoices for the tourist tax. We did the invoice for any extra at the base. We did invoices in case of damage, cancellation, any extra service we offer, and any maintenance that we did on the boat. Now we need to, provide all this information to our accountant. Let me take a second to tell you that we are, as a booking manager, connected to several accounting softwares already. So this information can be transferred directly to the accounting software. But if we're not already connected, you can do the transfer of the invoices or any data through the API. So if you use Booking Manager for your invoicing, but you use another software for accounting, or your accountant, which is maybe external to the company, uses another software, you don't have to print all the invoices, or maybe you have to for legal reason, but that's another question. You don't have to, download, save them in PDF, send them via email. They can actually, if their software allows, get all the information through the API. Okay. So what I can do to check my invoicing, I have two tools I can use. One is the invoice review, and one is the cash register. So I will start with the invoice review. So again, go in reports in the Booking Manager, and I have invoice review. And I can here filter by year, by period, or on a specific day. In this case, I'm going for the month of July. And I can search by type: advance, final, extras, by payment method, so card, cash, transaction account. And here are all the invoices that I have issued in this month. For example, I can check all the final invoices that I issued. I can select them, I can open them and check them. Or what I can do is actually, search for my extras invoice. I can select all of them. And I can have a list of invoices. So I have the invoice number, I have the date, the reservation number, and I have the tax breakdown for those companies that apply different VAT depending on the service. So I can print this to make sure that my accountant has all the invoices I issued registered. And as I was saying, we can export to Swing, Point, ERA, Synesys ERA, and also for the Croatian companies, they already know we are connected to Eračuni, so they can automatically export everything into Eračuni directly. Okay. The next thing is that it happens often that you take cash at the base. So at the end, Sandy is asking, please, can you go back to the first step to get the report? Please, of course I can. So here, the invoice review. Okay, ooh, you're here. So again, report, invoice review, very easy. All the reports are in the report section. So this is the invoice review. And as I was saying, you have several filters. You can search what you need exactly, final, extras, advance, and you can select one or multiple of the invoices you want to check. You can check them manually by clicking on the reservation. It will open the reservation, or you can just select them all. We will see it in a second. I'll go now on the extras. And I can select my invoices, and I have the list printed of all the invoices. And this can be sent by email, can be exported to Excel, or printed as a PDF. Okay. The next tool, as I was saying, is you most probably get cash at the base. So how to track how much cash you have taken during the day? You go in reports, cash register, and here I can check on today's date how much cash I cashed. So I can check my cash, I can check my cards. So for example, today I only had 46 euros in cash, 46, 48, 46. I have glasses and still don't see. And this is how much I charged in card, for example. And I can make an export. And what I can do is actually, I can mark that I took the money out of the cash register, of the physical cash register, to bring it to the bank. So I can add a transaction in negative, a balance transfer, as you can see. And I can say, okay, I took today, I don't know, 1,000 euros in cash. Of this 1,000, I'm bringing 900 to the bank. So it's not in my cash register anymore. So I will have a transaction in negative, minus 900. And maybe we can see it. It's not in the video, but here when you go in the cash register, maybe we can see if you click on report, you can actually add the transfer. Okay. Since many of you have been here for several academies, I will not go on my usual 10 minutes speech about the Summit, but I want to take the chance to invite you to come to Booking Manager Summit. You're still getting a very good deal if you book your tickets now. We actually have an accountant that is specialized in the charter business that is coming to the summit. She will talk about invoicing, commission invoicing, she will cover many of those topics. So I strongly invite you to join us. I strongly invite you to come to the summit. It's an amazing event. And it's a chance not to be missed. Let's wait for Martina to tell me which part the balance payment, please, on the beginning. Okay, sure. So we go back to payment analyzer. Tell me if this is what you wanted me to show again. So if I go on work, payment analyzer, I here can track, have an overview of all the payments I have outstanding. So for all the reservations that are in debt, I can actually check how long they have been due for, how much is the amount, and if I send any reminder. So for example, I can check by all bookings for the check-in in July. I click search and I have all my reservations that have a check-in in July for which I issued an invoice. So here I have my payment. I received 2,500, but on the first payment, I expected 277 euros and a few cents more. So I still have an overdue amount, which is this. And here I can see that it's overdue for 3 days, and I have already sent one reminder on the 14th. So if I click, I select it, I can click on send reminder, and automatically the program will track how many reminders I have sent. Here. So this message can be customized. In the Booking Manager, you can write your own standard message, and it comes with an attachment with the table. If it's one reservation, it will only have one line, but maybe you can also search by agent. And for example, say the agent's XYZ has 5 reservations for which we still have a open amount. So you can select all these reservations and send one reminder to the agents with all the reservations they still have open. Is this, Martina, what you wanted me to show again? Is there any other question? My pleasure, Martina. Always a pleasure to talk with you. Okay. Is there any other question that you guys have in mind and you want to ask? Okay. There is no question, surprisingly. Now, we'll try to go fast through this again. Where I can watch this video again, Sandy, it will be visible on our Booking Manager website, and it's visible also on YouTube. But we can send you the link once it's live. We can send you the information via email if you want. Actually, I think you all receive a follow-up email after this. So we'll do, Sandy, then we will send you over the video. If you have any question that comes, maybe by rewatching or by thinking of it, just contact us. You can contact us, our amazing colleagues from the technical support at support@mmksystems.com. Just if you have you need any help to set up your account for invoicing, if there's any point that I didn't cover today, or maybe there is something very specific about the legislation of your country, like Martina mentioned, invoicing in the name of the owner, and you're not sure if we have that feature, just let us know and we will be happy to have a look for you. I will take 1 second more of your time to invite you to the next Academy session, 3rd of July. And we will talk about check-in, how to make all the check-in procedure and everything that you need to prepare before the check-in as smooth as possible to have a seamless check-in procedure at the base for your sake and the sake of the client. So thank you again for being with me today in the high season. Thank you so much for making the time to listen to us again. And it has been a pleasure having you, and see you next month. Bye.